When we talk about foreign languages, of course, there are rules that we need to Hi, today I'm going to be talking about English grammar, and in this video I'm going to be talking specifically about the articles. So the articles are tiny parts of English grammar, but we know that they play a really big role in the language. They have crucial functions and also meanings that we have to pay attention to when using them, especially as the Indonesian speakers or the second language, not the second language, but the foreign language speakers of English. We have to pay attention to this. So because English is not Indonesian. Indonesian works a different way from the way English works. So that's why in this case we have to master the language by reading more books and by listening to spoken texts of English. That's the way how to master this. So when we talk about foreign languages, of course there are rules that we need to study and to learn. So the same way with this, it applies to this. So studying about articles, we have to know that there are rules that we need to master. And not only the rules, but after understanding the rules, we also have to know that there are some exceptions, like in our language also, there are exceptions of the rules. There are specially cases that we need to set aside. It's like it breaks the rule because these are special cases. So we have to pay attention to that too. And then when it's related to the articles, we also have to pay attention to the fact that in English, there are countable and uncountable nouns. And then there are also definite and indefinite nouns. So what are these? I'm going to be talking about this today. So we can look at the table here. This table, the concept is that there are 5 factors that influence the way we use the articles. If you look at the left side, it talks about definiteness and indefiniteness. So definite and indefinite. It's definite when it's specific, but it's indefinite when it's not specific. We're not talking about a specific thing in the world or in the surrounding, okay, in the context of what we are talking about. Okay. So we have we have to know that whether we're talking about a general thing or a very specific thing. Okay. And then we also need to pay attention to the fact that in English there are countable and uncountable nouns. Okay. So this also influences the way we use the articles in English. Okay. And the count nouns still divided into 2 parts, which is the singular form and the plural form. Okay. So this also influences the way we use the articles in English language. So we're going to talk about these concepts, the definiteness, indefiniteness, and then singular nouns, plural nouns, and also uncountable nouns in the next parts. Now, what is this definite and indefinite nouns? Are they so difficult to understand? No, actually. So just look at your audience. Let's look at the speaker, at the listener. Okay. Does the listener know what you're talking about? Okay. For example, when you talk about a cell phone, if the listener knows the cell phone that you're talking about, and then that noun should be definite. Okay? But if the speaker does not know, the listener does not know the noun you're talking about, and then it should be an indefinite noun. That's the key. So you need to look at the audience, at the listeners. Do they know what you are talking about? So for example, I come and then I say, I saw a man last night. So this man I'm talking about is not familiar, is not known by the listeners, by the listeners. So that's why I use article a. I introduce the topic, I introduce the man into the conversation. Okay, so I use a, because my listeners will be confused if I say, last night I saw the man, and they will be asking like, who? Which man? Because I use the, which is supposed to be a definite reference, a definite noun. Like it's very specific, and it's assumed that the listeners know about this. Okay? So example number 1, I saw a man last night. But in example number 2, now I'm using the man was walking slowly. So now when I use the noun for the second time, I use the, now the listeners are not confused about the man that I'm talking about. It should be the one that I saw last night. So in this case, we as the speaker and the listeners have to be at the same ground, okay, on the same page. We have to understand each other by the articles that we are using. So that's the difference between definite and indefinite nouns. Okay? So the same way with example number 3 and number 4, we have there give me a pen. So I can say give me a pen. I can also say give me the pen. But when I say give me the pen, the listener is supposed to know which pen I'm talking about. Like, for example, there's a pen in front of him or in front of her on the table. So I say give me the pen. So there will be no question which pen. Okay, it should be the one I'm talking about. Okay, but if I say give me a pen, maybe the pen is not there, but they need to find a pen, or they can give me any kind of pen because they just need one. Okay, so there is a huge difference between these sentences, okay, when we use them into context between definite and indefinite nouns. And then we also have to understand that in English, in all languages actually, but it's just the way we use this in Indonesian and in English language is different. So there is what is called as generic nouns. Generic nouns is when we make generalization. So we talk about one thing, but in general. Not really specific. In this case, when we use count noun in its singular form, we have to use the article a, but when we use this in plural forms, we do not use the article. So if we look at the examples here, I have 3 examples, 1, 2, 3. In number 1, I'm making a generalization. A stone is heavy. Okay. It means that I'm not talking about one particular stone around us, me as the speaker and my listeners. Okay. I'm not talking about any particular stone, but I'm talking about any stone wherever it is. Okay. It can be in this room. it can be in this house, it can be in this building, or it can be in this city, it can be in this country, or anywhere in the world. Okay? So a stone is heavy. Okay? So it is awkward if you say stone is heavy, because I'm using this stone in its singular form. So it's better to use the article a. Generalization. But when I use this noun in its plural forms, like I'm not talking about one stone, but I'm talking about more than one stone, so I need to omit the articles, like stones are heavy. This is also a generalization, because I'm talking about any stones, okay? Wherever they are heavy, okay? So stones are heavy. Generalization, but then many stones. But a stone is heavy is also a generalization, but then just one. Okay. Now the question is, for sentence number 1 and number 2, is it possible grammatically to use the with all of them? Yes, it is possible. It's grammatical, so we can say the stone is heavy. We can also say the stones are heavy. We can do this. However, there's a huge difference again. They are really, really different. A stone is heavy is different from the stone is heavy. Stones are heavy is really, really different from the stones are heavy. The difference is that when we use the article the with number 1 and number 2, it means that we assume, and that's the fact, that should be the fact, that the listener, the one we're talking to, should understand which stone, or in number 2, which stones are we talking about.
Selanjutnya, kita saksikan video profil Universitas Teknokrat Indonesia.
Lampung, the treasures of Sumatra, is a province that becomes the gateway to the Sumatra Island. Lampung has 2 municipalities and 13 districts, consisting of 234 sub-districts. The province, with an area of 35,587 km squares, owns millions of extraordinary natural beauty. Education in Lampung province is also highly considered and colored by the existence of Universitas Teknokrat Indonesia. Universitas Teknokrat Indonesia has 3 faculties and 12 study programs. Faculty of Engineering and Computer Sciences with 6 study programs: Electrical Engineering, Civil Engineering, Computer Engineering, Information Technology, Informatics, and Information System. Faculty of Economics and Business with 2 study programs: Management and Accounting. Faculty of Arts and Educations with 4 study programs: English Literature, Mathematics Education, English Educations, and Physical Education. Universitas Teknokrat Indonesia believes that education is the key to the advancements of a nation. Universitas Teknokrat Indonesia commits to produce and develop future leaders through the education of quality characters. This receives a very good reception and trust from the community, which is marked by an increasing interest in students from year to year. The students and lecturers have lots of achievements and awards. Also, our quality is recognized by National Accreditation Board for Higher Education and many international collaborations. Universitas Teknokrat Indonesia also prepares the students to face the globalization's era through the use of digital technology. Universitas Teknokrat Indonesia has a number of representative facilities provided to support the learning process, such as comfortable classroom, laboratories, information technology, and the internet. Our vision is to be an excellent university in Sumatra with international standard and able to play an active role in nation building through three pillars of higher education, comprising education, research, and community service. We have graduated outstanding students who can be accepted in state agencies and other large companies. At Universitas Teknokrat Indonesia, the students and lecturers are encouraged to create and innovate by creating products and services that benefit the community through research activities and community services. In an effort to achieve its visions and missions, the academics of Universitas Teknokrat Indonesia are guided by the organizational culture values of discipline, quality, creative, and innovative. To support the quality of learning processes, we have very complete and sophisticated facilities, including digital-based smart classroom, hotspot in campus area, sport facilities, auditorium, and students' hall. Come and be a part of us, the campus of champion, Universitas Teknokrat Indonesia.
Terima kasih sudah menyaksikan video pembelajaran ini. Jangan lupa like, komen, dan subscribe, serta nyalakan tanda loncengnya agar kalian tidak ketinggalan informasi update lainnya. I hate